The world's best footballers and best football clubs on one big stage. The greatest club competition of them all. The UEFA Champions League. All season long on USRN.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another new edition of the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. What's good, everyone? I hope everyone is staying blessed, staying healthy, and just loving life. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. That's why they call today the present. You got to accept it. You got to love it and live in the moment. How is everyone doing today? I am so glad to see everyone here that's listening live. If you're listening live and if you're in the chat room, say what's up. Say what's up to your boy, the SoCal Saint. I do appreciate it. Shout out to IE Sports Radio member Taryn Rodriguez live in the chat room. How you doing, sir? I hope Larry B's listening live. The head honcho. We just came off of a big moment in IE Sports Radio history. We just came off of our 9-year anniversary celebration, week long actually. So I hope you guys tuned in to all the great shows that we have here on the IE Sports Radio Network. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm a little salty. Last night my Lakers couldn't get the job done. They got swept, which is crazy. Did not see that coming. The Denver Nuggets, congrats to them. They're heading to the first NBA Finals in franchise history. So congrats to them. I gotta be a good sportsman about it and just say, they were the better team. They proved it 4 times in a row. So congrats to them. I'm just glad the Lakers made it as far as they did, especially after the terrible start to the season that we had. So congrats to the Denver Nuggets. I'll feel a little less salty that hopefully the Boston Celtics also get swept because they're down 3-0 right now. I do not want to see the Celtics make it to the finals. I doubt that they'd be able to pull back from that. Hopefully not. Here's to hoping that the Boston Celtics also get eliminated, and that will make me feel just a little bit better. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Big weekend for professional wrestling. We got a lot of shows happening this weekend. We actually have 2 going down this Sunday. I didn't even realize it until after I was off the air last week that AEW Double or Nothing is this Sunday, but also this Sunday, streaming live on Peacock, will be NXT's premium live event, NXT Battleground. So we'll get into both of those shows, as well as this Saturday's big premium live event coming to you live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That is WWE's Night of Champions. So we got some stuff to talk about there. Excuse me, the matches and my picks for the winners and the losers. We'll see how that goes. We got some wrestling news. I always like to start the show off with just a bunch of wrestling news before we get into certain things, that are certain company related. But this is a cool little thing that I came across. That's going to be presented by Hardcore Country LLC. That is the company that is owned by Impact Wrestling's Mickie James. Yes, the former Impact Knockout Women's Champion, Mickie James. Former WWE Superstar, Mickie James. And Mickie James is putting on something called the Mickie James Masterclass. If you're in the Maryland area and you're listening live, you might want to jot down this info. It's going to be a 3-day camp designed to elevate the careers of experienced professional wrestlers. This exclusive event will take place from July 20th to July 22nd, 2023 at the prestigious MCW Pro Wrestling Training Center in Joppa, Maryland. I hope I said that right. That's Joppa, Maryland. Led by the renowned wrestling icon Mickie James, this masterclass offers a rare chance for trained professional wrestlers to learn from someone who possesses exceptional knowledge, expertise, and first-hand experience in the industry. With an illustrious career spanning WWE, Impact Wrestling, and beyond, Mickie James has achieved tremendous success, becoming a 5-time Impact Knockouts World Champion and a multi-time WWE Women's World Champion. The Mickie James Masterclass aims to provide attendees with invaluable insights, techniques, and strategies to take their careers to new heights. Participants will have the opportunity to receive personalized instruction from Mickie James herself as she shares her wealth of knowledge on various aspects of professional wrestling, including in-ring skills, character development, storytelling, psychology, and more. So if you are a experienced professional wrestler looking for that edge, looking for that next thing that you need to take your career to the next level, and you're in the Maryland area, hell, if you're not even in the Maryland area, if you're in the East Coast and you want to head that way to this masterclass, just go to www.mcwprowrestling.com/Mickie James Masterclass to sign up for this class. This is a legend in the professional wrestling business. She has invaluable knowledge. I mean, it goes without saying. She has done it all in professional wrestling. She's had huge, big main event matches in WWE and in Impact Wrestling. She's had big matches on the biggest stages of them all, WrestleMania and Bound for Glory. So, if you are a professional wrestler looking to get some extra knowledge to expand your career, this is something for you. Again, that's mcwprowrestling.com/Mickie James Masterclass. Some unfortunate. It seems like we've this past weekend has not been good for female wrestlers and the injury bug. The injury bug has creeped on to some of our great female professional wrestlers. This past weekend at the New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence show in Long Beach, Mercedes Moné was injured during her tournament final match to crown the first ever NJPW Strong Women's World Champion against Willow Nightingale. They had to call an audible because apparently Mercedes Moné, a.k.a. Sasha Banks, for those who don't know, formerly known as Sasha Banks, she was supposed to win that match, but they had to call an audible and Willow Nightingale ended up pinning Mercedes for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship, becoming the first ever NJPW Strong Women's Champion, because Mercedes appeared to have suffered some sort of injury. After the show went off the air, it was confirmed by Mercedes herself that she broke her foot during the match. I don't know how. I didn't get a chance to see the match or what spot may have been the where it happened, but during that match with Willow Nightingale, she broke her foot. And not only that, apparently last week on Monday Night Raw, 2 injuries happened in one match with Liv Morgan and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai apparently tore her ACL for the second time. This is the second time she's done this. She actually will be going into surgery today to repair that torn ACL. And it's looking like she could be out for a better part of a year, at least 9 months. That's the least amount of time to a year to repair and rehab from that torn ACL surgery. And not only that, Liv Morgan, who was also injured in the match, and she suffered a shoulder injury so bad to where she will need actual major shoulder surgery to repair the injury, and her timetable to return, I believe, is about 6 to 9 months. So those are 2 WWE superstars on the shelf with injuries that are taking them out for quite some time. Wish them a speedy recovery, as well as to Mercedes Moné. Hopefully she can get back on her feet with that broken foot, and these women can get back to doing what they love, entertaining us, the wrestling audience. With Liv Morgan on topic, this is some cool news. Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan have been cast in a wrestling-based movie about Mildred Burke. Mildred Burke is one of the legends of female professional wrestling. This film is going to be based on the book Queen of the Ring, focusing on Burke's life, career, and marriage. Filming begins in June in Louisville, Kentucky. Flair will portray June Byers, while Morgan will portray Clara Mortensen. Emily Bett Rickards, for those who don't know who Emily Bett Rickards is, and if you're a big comic book nerd and watcher of comic book film and television like I am, she played Felicity Smoke on Arrow, the Green Arrow television show that was on the CW a while back. She is actually going to be. She has been cast in the title role as Mildred Burke. Josh Lucas will be playing Billy Wolf. And Mary, oh wow, I'm going to butcher his name, I do apologize, Avgeropoulos as Babe Gordon round out the main cast. Earlier this month, Jim Ross said on his podcast that he will work behind the scenes on the film. Despite the National Wrestling Alliance's ban on women competing, Burke paved the way for women's wrestling in the 20th century and was a pioneer in intergender wrestling. In 2016, the WWE Hall of Fame inducted Burke as a part of its legacy wing in recognition of her trailblazing role in professional wrestling. So there we go. We're getting a historical film about the woman who paved the way for women's professional wrestlers in professional wrestling, Mildred Burke. Queen of the Ring. I don't know if that's going to be the name of the film, and 2 WWE superstars will be in the film, Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan. So that's some cool news there. I want to share this. This is some awesome news. Former Indianapolis Colts punter and former SmackDown color commentator Pat McAfee, who I just love. I love Pat McAfee. I thought he was great as a commentator, and he's actually pretty decent in the ring as well. The few matches he has had under the WWE umbrella, I hope he will return at some point, but who knows, maybe not after this deal was announced. Pat McAfee has made it official and announces that the Pat McAfee Show, his very popular podcast and YouTube streaming show, has been acquired and will be moving to ESPN this fall. And McAfee announced in a tweet, "Our show will be live on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN YouTube all at the same time." Big congratulations to Pat McAfee. What a huge deal. That is awesome to hear that. Pat McAfee going to be streaming live across all ESPN platforms this fall with the Pat McAfee show. So that's really cool to hear. Congrats again to Pat McAfee. I'm getting some technical news here. I found out some more things about the deal for WWE being purchased by the parent company of the UFC, Endeavor. This is what has come to light. Apparently, Endeavor, before the purchase, proposed that Vince McMahon is to be the executive chairman of the WWE until death, resignation, or incapacity. Initially, Endeavor submitted a proposal for the merger, with EDR owning 57% stake and WWE owning 43%. WWE demanded a stake ratio of 51 to 49%, and as a condition of giving WWE a 51-49 increased valuation, Endeavor proposed Vince to be the executive chairman until death, resignation, and incapacity. Vince will also get 5 of 11 board seats and certain veto rights, which basically means Endeavor wanted Vince as the head of the company until he is dead. That is crazy. I mean, Vince has got that clout to make a deal such as this. Whether you love him, whether you absolutely fucking hate him, Vince McMahon is one thing: a very smart businessman. That's for sure. To be able to pull out a deal like that. We're going to get into some AEW news here in a little bit, but I just wanted to bring this up. Actually, we're going to have some good and some bad. Here's some good news. Finally, if you're a video game enthusiast like myself, and you love to play professional wrestling video games, if you haven't played any in the last few years, the last decade or so, but you remember the times of old, like growing up, say, I hope a lot of the listeners, a lot of the members of IE Sports Radio, growing up, if you had a Nintendo 64 and you played, let's say, WCW NWO Revenge or WWF No Mercy, that one is still talked about to this day as one of the greatest professional wrestling games ever made. I have to agree. It was always really fun. That game was awesome. Finally, after years of talking about it, the memes can stop, the shit talking can stop, but officially announced yesterday on all social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, their Facebook page, AEW Games officially announced via a short little video presented by AEW EVP Kenny Omega that AEW's first ever video game is finally going to see the light of day. AEW Fight Forever will come out for all platforms: PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4. June 29th is the launch date. June 29th is the official launch date of AEW Fight Forever, and the company that has helped make this game is THQ Nordic. Yucks is getting back into the professional wrestling game. They haven't made a professional wrestling game since WWE and Yucks ended their partnership back, I think it was like 2013 or something like that. 2012, somewhere around there. And apparently Kenny Omega keeps touting that this game is in the same vein as WWF No Mercy, those fun arcade-style professional wrestling games that you remember from your youth. That is what Kenny Omega has been billing this game as for quite some time now, and I guess we will get to finally find out if that is true come June 29th when AEW Fight Forever drops. So if you're a big video game fan, especially wrestling games, you better go and pre-order yourself a copy. I've already done so. I did that months ago. So it's nice to finally see that this game is finally coming out. It's going to see the light of day. That's awesome. And some more AEW news. Apparently, take this with a grain of salt. Tony Khan, the owner and president of AEW, is threatening legal action against one CM Punk. Former two-time AEW World Champion CM Punk was scheduled to return to AEW programming next month on the debut episode of AEW Saturday Collision, the new AEW show that has been announced. That actually came out this past week. The news of that, but Punk was pulled from the press release of Collision. Warner Brothers Discovery issued the following statement to this source that I'm reading it from, comicbook.com. CM Punk is not affiliated with TNT's AEW Collision. Boom, plain and simple. PW Insider then reported that backstage producer Ace Steel was expected to return to AEW along with Punk, but the decision was then made not to bring Steel back in, and this put Punk and AEW on the opposite sides of the discussion once again regarding his return to Collision. Steel is a very good friend of Punk. He got fired last year for being involved in the brawl-out drama that took place after AEW's All Out 2002 pay-per-view. AEW's Collision premiere was scheduled to take place at the United Center in Chicago, which would still be the case if Punk agrees to show up. However, if Punk isn't coming back, then Tony Khan will have to find a different location, as he thinks fans would expect Punk to show up if the show was taking place in Chicago, which is what they did for AEW Rampage, the first dance in 2021, where Punk debuted. According to Raj Kiri, Tony's team sent a legal letter to Punk over the weekend which stated that he needs to comply with his contract or they will take further legal action. Tony announced will announce the location of the first episode of AEW Collision on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. So that's tomorrow. So tomorrow, Tony Khan will announce where the first ever episode of AEW Collision will be taking place. But it's not looking good. This whole situation with Punk, there was I know I reported it a few weeks ago that Punk seemed to be trying to make amends and he wants to come back to wrestling. He misses wrestling, but now there's more fucking drama. Like, it just never ends. It just never seems to end. Like, I don't know. I feel like the value of Punk has certainly gone down because the con of having him being, no pun intended, the con of having Punk in the company is definitely outweighing the pros. You know what I'm saying? I guess we just got to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. This wrestling news, a little bit on a somber note, guys. Today, it's crazy this is crazy that I'm actually going to say this. I know hopefully some of our listeners that are listening live or on the download can remember this date, because I do. I vividly remember this date. I was sleeping because I was still just a very young kid, and it was a Sunday night, of course. And school was the next morning. My mom woke me up. God rest her soul. My mom woke me up and brought me into the living room to show me a news story that was happening on the evening news that one of my favorites at the time had passed away. One of my favorite professional wrestlers. And it is, of today, May 23rd, it is 24 years ago now that the tragic death of Owen Hart took place. Yes, the youngest brother of WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart, the Black Heart. He was called the King of Hearts, the two-time Slammy Award winner, former multi-time Intercontinental Champion, multiple-time Tag Team Champion. Never really did get the chance to become a world champion, but certainly could have been one of the greats. One of the greatest wrestlers to never hold the world title. The Black Heart, Owen Hart, passed away tragically from a fall, a devastating fall, from the rafters of the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. Fell to his death. It's just crazy, man. I can't believe that's been 24 years now. 24 years ago, Owen Hart passed away. His birthday just passed as well. His birthday and his death were in the same month. He was born May 7th, 1965, and passed away May 23rd, 1999. Gone way too soon. Just a tragedy that could have totally been avoided had the proper safety precautions been taken. It's definitely one of those great tragedies, and wrestling seems to have way too many tragedies. That's one thing about professional wrestling. You got to take the good with the bad, and certainly there's been a lot of bad, and this is one of those. So just to the family, and friends of Owen Hart. May God keep y'all. Prayers and condolences still to his family, his widow, and his children. And to any fans missing him, we all miss him. All the stories have come out about Owen over the years. He just seemed like one of those salt-of-the-earth human beings, So, to you, Owen Hart, rest in peace. And we have to say another rest in peace. Again, this past week, we lost another great in the professional wrestling business. A legend. A man who was way ahead of his time. Maybe he was 20 years too soon, as his WWE documentary title states. Superstar Billy Graham. He was too bad, too bold, too muscular, baby. Superstar Billy Graham was ahead of his time. Superstar Billy Graham passed away at the age of 79. Billy Graham, he was just on another level. He was the first cool heel. He was like turning himself babyface because he was just too awesome and too cool for people to hate. People didn't want to hate this guy. He just exuded style and pizzazz and just charisma. He was oozing charisma. Superstar Billy Graham, the title Superstar fits him perfectly because he was literally the very first ever WWE Superstar. A former WWF World Champion, he ended the second reign of Bruno Sammartino, and he had a long reign as champion. Maybe it should have been longer. He was only champion for about 6 months, maybe longer than any other heel. He sold out 19 out of 20 main event cards at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Superstar Billy Graham was just ahead of his time. Superstar Billy Graham, this is for you. Rest in peace, sir. I'm going to end it with a quote from Superstar Billy Graham. He was definitely one of the ones that he took a lot of influence from outside sources. In particular, one of the greatest, if not the greatest boxer in the history of boxing, Muhammad Ali. Especially the way that Muhammad Ali would talk and his charisma and his rhyming. Superstar Billy Graham brought that into the world of professional wrestling. And this is one of his most famous quotes. I always love this. I just watched his documentary the other day. I am the superstar. I am better than great. I lift barbell plates. I'm sweeter than a German chocolate cake. Superstar Billy Graham, baby. I love that. I lift barbell plates. I'm sweeter than a German chocolate cake. Woo! Man. He was definitely way ahead of his time. Rest in peace, Superstar Billy Graham. And, man, I feel like I always end like the first half of my show on such a downer note. But I'll leave with this before we take a short little break. If you're not following me on Twitter, you really should be. At IE Elite Pod. That's at IE Elite Pod. A part of the IE Sports Radio Network at IE Elite Sports Radio. Also, check out our website, iesportsradio.com. You can find all of our shows and listen to our episodes, past episodes, and new episodes on the platform. But I announced it thanks to Larry B. after getting it on there and announcing it to me first, so I was able to share it with you guys, my followers and listeners of the show, that you can now listen to the IE Elite Wrestling Show on Apple Podcasts. So that's awesome. I just wanted, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, thanks, welcome, hello, it's awesome. Thank you to Larry B and the IE Sports Radio team. It's awesome. Just another notch on the belt, man. That's really cool. We're going to take a short little break, and we're going to get into these weekend's big pay-per-view events and see what we have in store as far as wrestling action this next upcoming weekend. All right, guys, we will be right back.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies,
And your one-timers,
you wicked wristas.
and be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Welcome back to the show, guys. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint. If you're just tuning in, we just went over a lot of wrestling news. Some injuries took place within the WWE and NJPW with some of its female talent. Speedy recoveries again to Mercedes Moné, Liv Morgan, and Dakota Kai. We reminisced about superstar Billy Graham, who just recently passed away. Rest in peace. And today is the anniversary of the passing of one Owen Hart. And just a nice little tidbit, if fans, if you are a fan of Owen Hart and you are planning on purchasing the AEW Fight Forever video game, you're in luck, because with the deal between Martha Hart and the Owen Hart Foundation and All Elite Wrestling, Owen Hart will be a playable character in All Elite Wrestling's first ever video game, Fight Forever. So if you're a fan of Owen Hart will be a playable character in AEW Fight Forever. That's pretty cool. I'm glad to see that. I think that's a part of the deal, especially with their Owen Hart tournament that they did last year, and I think they're doing it again this year, the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. So the deal with AEW and Owen Hart seems to be, and the Owen Hart Foundation seems to be running very, very smoothly and very great, especially for fans who miss anything about Owen, because Martha, his widow, is very anti-WWE. Obviously, I mean, why wouldn't she be? Because, it's the company that, that took her husband away from her. And, so it makes a lot of sense that she would make a deal with a company that wants to honor his legacy and not so much, profit from it. You know what I mean? So, this coming weekend, guys, we have 3 big events. The first of which is going to be this Saturday, coming to you live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It will be WWE's Night of Champions. The Night of Champions event has all of its matches set in stone, and we're going to go over these matches. For a show titled Night of Champions, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 matches are actually championship matches. Well, I guess that's pretty good. It used to be that every match was a title match, but we'll see. The first match that's on the card that's made official, this is not in any particular order. I doubt this is the order that they'll actually happen in, but it will be the WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus will be going one-on-one with the man Becky Lynch. I'm looking forward to that. I think these two will have a great match. I remember when Becky had a match with Lita and Saudi. I think it was a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago now. I can't remember exactly when that took place, but Lita had a really great match with Becky at that Saudi show. So hopefully Becky could go 2 for 2 with another Hall of Famer with Trish Stratus, and hopefully they can have a really awesome match. First title match on the card, SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley will defend the SmackDown Women's title against Natalya. Natty looking to win her, I believe this would be her 3rd or 4th women's title, if possible. But I don't see that coming anytime soon. I expect Rhea Ripley to have a very nice, long, and storied championship reign, hopefully. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley on that one. Next title match on the card is the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defends the Raw Women's title against Asuka. It's a rematch from WrestleMania. It should be a hell of a match. Hopefully Bianca and Asuka can have another great match like they had at WrestleMania. And hopefully it can follow the great match that Bianca Belair and Io Sky had at Backlash in Puerto Rico. So this should be one hell of a match. Hopefully. So they got a lot to live up to. Next match on the card for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The reigning, defending, undisputed Intercontinental Champion himself. The leader of Imperium. The Ring General. That's the Ring General. Gunther will defend his Intercontinental Championship against Mustafa Ali. I believe Ali is gonna get his opportunity to shine in this match. I do not see Gunther losing the title, even though it would be nice to give it this big feel, especially in Saudi Arabia for Mustafa to get the win. But I just think Gunther is going to be the one to retain the title in this match. Big match. I really don't know who's going to win this match. I honestly don't know either way. I really wanted to keep the titles on KO and Sammy, but WWE might shock us and put the titles on the Bloodline, but we will see. It's the tag team title match for the undisputed WWE tag team titles. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defend the undisputed WWE tag team titles against the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa and the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, who will be hitting 1,000 days as champion on this night, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. And in a big grudge match, a rematch from Backlash, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, goes one-on-one once again with the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. This should be a fight. This shouldn't even be a match. This should just be a fight. These two guys, especially after the weeks of attacks from Brock Lesnar, and especially being attacked last night by Brock Lesnar on Raw for that final go-home show, this should be just a fight. These two should just beat the living shit out of each other all over the Jeddah Dome. And the tournament final for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. A nice tidbit. I know I talked about this when the idea of the World Heavyweight title was reintroduced into the company a couple weeks back. I know I brought this up, and it was confirmed. The World Heavyweight Championship, this new version of the World Heavyweight Championship, is not going to be starting from scratch. This will have the same lineage as the previous World Heavyweight Championship in the WWE, which was first held by Triple H and last held by Randy Orton. So, this technically John Cena, because Randy Orton unified that with the WWE title. So, I guess technically that would be Randy. Yeah, so technically Randy Orton was the last World Heavyweight Champion. So this is the same lineage as that title. It's just an updated version aesthetically of the title, but it's not being a different overall. This isn't starting fresh. So that's really good to hear. But yes, the tournament final for the World Heavyweight Championship will take place. It'll be from Raw, Seth freaking Rollins versus from SmackDown, the phenomenal AJ Styles. This definitely should steal, and I believe will steal the show this coming Saturday night in Jeddah. And I don't know who to pick either way, because I like them both. I think both people are both superstars are both very strong candidates to be the first World Heavyweight Champion since 2013. And if you don't get your wrestling fill, we have more matches and more pay-per-views coming to you this coming Sunday. So this Sunday, there's 2 shows to watch, if you can, unless they're running at the same time. I'm not really sure. They probably are to compete for viewership. But live on Peacock, and it's going to be taking place live at the Tsongas Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. It'll be NXT Battleground, NXT's next live pay-per-view event, or premium live event, will be taking place this Sunday. And these are the matches that are announced so far. It will be in a last man standing match. Ilya Dragunov will go 1-on-1 with Dijak. This should be an awesome match between these two. Dijak is a very strong big man who can fly like a cruiserweight, and Ilya Dragunov I believe is going to be on his way to the main roster. There's rumors going around that Ilya Dragunov will show up on Raw as a new 4th member of Imperium alongside Giovanni Vinci, Ludwig Kaiser, and Gunther. Well, we shall see. And in a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship, it'll be Wesley defending the North American title against both Tyler Bate and Joe Gacy, the leader of the Schism. And for a British Rounds Rules match for the NXT Heritage Cup, the current holder of the NXT Heritage Cup, Noam Dar, will defend the title and cup against Dragon Lee. And we're also going to get the tournament semifinals and the tournament... the match has not been set yet. The semifinal matches will be taking place tonight on NXT in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. Of course, the NXT Women's title was vacated by Indy Hartwell due to injury and the fact that she was drafted to Monday Night Raw. So, these semifinal matches will take place tonight. Lyra Valkyria versus Cora Jade, and Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez. And the winners of these matches will face each other in the tournament final to crown the new NXT Women's Champion at NXT Battleground. And in the main event, a rematch from NXT Stand and Deliver. Carmelo Hayes, because Melo don't miss, defends the NXT Championship against the former champion, Braun Breaker. This should be a great match if it's happening. And Carmelo is from the Massachusetts area. I, no doubt, will see Carmelo probably with another epic entrance, most likely repping the Boston Celtics. That's just my guess. If he's planning on doing another basketball-themed entrance. But that's my guess. I think he will honor the Boston Celtics in his entrance. I'm just guessing. Like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm just guessing. But that is the card for NXT Battleground. That's coming to you live this Sunday on Peacock. And if you actually want to shell out more than $5.99 or $4.99 for a subscription to Peacock, if you actually want to spend upwards of $55 or more to watch a pay-per-view event, then check out AEW's Double or Nothing, which will be taking place also this Sunday live from the T-Mobile Arena in the Las Vegas suburb of Paradise, Nevada. And this now, like, I remember talking about this last week. I think there's literally only 2 matches on the card. All of a sudden, this show went from 2 matches to 9 matches already announced. And these are the matches that are set for AEW's Double or Nothing this coming Sunday. In an unsanctioned match, Adam Cole will go one-on-one. Oh, I did that wrong. Adam Cole, baby! There we go. Adam Cole will go one-on-one with Chris Jericho, Le Champion. That should be a good match. This is probably the biggest feud Adam Cole has had in his time in AEW. Adam Cole, of course, his career was nearly ended due to a concussion and after concussion syndrome that he was suffering for nearly a year. Thank God that he is back and being healthy. And hopefully that this feud with Adam Cole can take him. This feud with Chris Jericho will take him to the next level, and we see Adam Cole challenging for hopefully a world title in the future. Another match announced: a 6-man tag team match. If Hardy Party wins, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. That's the stipulation for this match. It'll be Ethan Page and the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, taking on the Hardy Party. Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff, and Matt Hardy. And in a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship, Jade Cargill is now sitting at over 500 days as champion. Will her title reign come to an end, as well as her undefeated streak, when she faces Taya Valkyrie for the title? This is probably the only match on the card, besides the main event, that I'm actually really looking forward to for this pay-per-view. It is the Anarchy in the Arena match. The Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, the Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta take on the Elite, the now reformed Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, and Hangman Adam Page. A match for the AEW Women's World Championship will be taking place when Jamie Hayter defends the Women's World title against Toni Storm. A 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship will take place. Orange Cassidy defends the title against the only 3 members of this match that have been announced besides Orange Cassidy: Aaron Solo, Powerhouse Hobbs, and QT Marshall, and 17 to be announced 17 other to be determined competitors. A ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship will be taking place. Wardlow defends the AEW TNT title with Arn Anderson in his corner against Christian Cage with Luchasaurus in his corner. A tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Mark Briscoe of the Briscoes will serve as the special guest referee. FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler defend the tag team titles against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And, of course, the main event. The 4-way, 4 pillars match for the AEW World Championship. MJF defends the World Championship against Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. That is the big main event match for Double or Nothing that's coming to you live and can be viewed on pay-per-view or on Fight TV, the Fight TV app. You can order it there. I believe Bleacher Report also, if you have Bleacher Report as an app, I believe they also stream the AEW pay-per-views, and you can purchase it there as well. AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday, live from the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada. A lot of choices, guys. A lot of big events happening. Night of Champions on Saturday. Battleground and Double or Nothing on Sunday. there's a lot of wrestling going on this weekend, so this should be great. Especially if you're a wrestling fan, you just eat up wrestling like I do. This is going to be an awesome weekend to just kick back, maybe light up the grill some hamburgers, some hot dogs, if you want to get down, grill some fajitas, and just pig out, chill out, and watch some wrestling. It's Memorial Day weekend. I mean, hell, why? You should have Monday off, unless you work, you work for public service like I do. But anyway. With that said, guys, I think that's it for the show today. I really am appreciative of everyone who tuned in to listen live. If you listened live, thank you very much. If you're listening on the download after the fact, on now on YouTube or Spreaker or Apple Podcasts, whoop whoop, I do appreciate that. Thanks, guys. I love doing this. This is something that I just really enjoy. I have a passion for this business. And I have a passion to just share that love of professional wrestling with other people who love it as well. So thanks again for tuning in. Follow me on the Twitter at IEElitePod. That's at IEElitePod. Follow IE Sports Radio, of course, at IE Sports Radio. Check out all of our shows. Go to IESportsRadio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again. This has been the IE Elite Wrestling Show with the SoCal Saint, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. Peace out!